All right, we are back with another episode of the Urban Wire, episode 102. This is the Urban Wire, where we shine the light on issues impacting the urban community. My name is Senica Harris, and on the line, I have my co-host for the evening, Miss C. Johnson. Let's go to the phone lines and see how Miss C. Johnson is doing this evening. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can. I can hear you clearly.
Wonderful. I know it's been a while since we've done a live broadcast. We're getting back into the swing of things because there's just been so much going on in the news and just going on in the world around us. So we're just going to do like a little quick hour and a half show tonight. We're doing something a little bit different. I want to get some little housekeeping things out the way first. I'm going to try this tonight. I'm going to do a pre-recorded show, and then I'm going to edit it and put it up on our network. So it's going to probably air on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And I'm going to try to get that edited and get that uploaded. And just for those of you that don't know, we are on several platforms now. We're going to be doing the Facebook Live broadcast, but also we're going to be, we're still on Blog Talk Radio. I've changed the URL of it. And it's, let me get the URL. I want to make sure everybody has the correct URL. It's blogtalkradio.com/urban_wire_media_network. So just put that in, or you can just do a basic search. And you can just look up the Urban Wire Media Network, and that should pop up. We're also on iTunes. We're on Stitcher, TuneIn, and Google Play. So we're expanding. We're doing big things. So definitely I want everybody to just pass the word. And, of course, we're on YouTube as well. So you'll see our full-length episodes and excerpts on there. You can go to youtube.com, and it's I believe it's still UCOFW, but you can put up go in there and search UCOFW or the Urban Wire Media Network, and our videos and our channel should pop up. Now, we got a lot to discuss tonight, y'all, because there's been some straight up foolishness going on in the media, and we're going to get down to the bottom of it. But before we get started, see, like, I just want to know, like, with all this stuff that's going on, like, do you just feel like sometimes there's just no hope for the direction of this world in this country in general?
Yes, I mean, I really do, because there's no change. Change is really not being promoted. And what I mean by that is that it has become a norm for, people to just act out and to just act stupid and ridiculous. And, for some reason that just seems to be okay. But then, when we try to make a change, or when we try to at least promote it, when we try to, now it's not being promoted, but when we at least try to, that's not even being acknowledged. So to answer your question, yes, I feel like there's just no hope, none.
Right. Okay, and I just want to just throw in here real quick. The chat room is open. Like, you guys can send in your comments, questions, and concerns. I want to thank everybody that's on here already. I see you, Melissa. I see you, Greg. I see you, Cuz. Miss Chan, she already clowning, talking about, is you live, whore? Whore, is you live? So, yes, we are definitely live. We are up in this thing tonight. So, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. Let me go down the list of what we're going to talk about, because we're going to have to hit it and quit it real quick. We're going to hit these topics. We're going to get up off here tonight, so we're going to keep y'all on here long. If y'all got some questions in the comment section, leave the comments there so everybody can, so we can just have a respectful dialogue, and we can just talk about these issues. Now, we're going to talk about Nia Wilson. She was the girl that was fatally stabbed at a bus station. We're going to get on that. We're going to talk about the details of that. And we're going to talk about some local news about the Duckboat drowning and just the tragedy behind that. We got some clips on that. We're going to talk about just the topic in general, police being called on Black people. And we're going to talk about how all these cases have been coming to light lately, about how people are just doing basic everyday things, and they're being called by police are being called on them by citizens, in which turned out a lot of these people are white supremacists, they're racist, and you look into their background, we see a lot of that going on in their background, and these are the same people that are calling the police on black people. We're going to talk about R.Kelly, because, we talk about him every now and then. We talk about how sick and perverted and twisted he is. So we're going to get on him. He had a new song that came out called I Admit. And, we're going to get into some of the lyrics of that. Also, girl, check this out. See, did you know Monique? You've been hearing about Monique recently, how she been in all this news talking about how she been done wrong by Tyler Perry and Oprah and them. She had the nerve to say that she sticks up for Roseasnne in her comments.
Yes. Oh my God. I was just messed up with that about that. Oh my God.
Yeah, yes. I know we're gonna go in on that. And then Charlamagne Tha, the personality on the Breakfast Club, and how it's been some tea that's been exposed or brought up from the past, and now people are giving him the side eye, and it's also kind of affected his HBO deal that he had. He's supposed to be doing a new series through HBO, and I guess they done canceled that. So we're gonna get on that. We're gonna talk about the Black Expo, and we're gonna talk about church news, because, honey, I think we're gonna start off with the church news first, because, baby, it's so much going on in the churches today, and we need to talk about that. I want to first start off, and that's a good place we're gonna start off at, is oh boy, I tell you, there was a situation where and I don't think I had time to find the clip, but I'm gonna go online real quick and find this YouTube clip. I want y'all to hear. Pretty much, it was about this family that was having a funeral, and I think this took place in Philadelphia, and I guess they were Catholic, and somebody had accidentally knocked over the chalice or something. They, was giving somebody a hug, and they knocked over the chalice, and I guess the priest came out and told all them, she said, get that thing. I said, get that thing out of my church, which he was talking about the body. And these people, they were mourning over her mother because their mother was sick, and she was well-liked and well-loved in the community. And he told him, I said, you said this funeral is over. He pretty much, in other words, he told them to get your black asses out this church. The funeral is not going to happen today. And get this body, which he called a thing, out of here. So that goes to show you, these people that are supposed to be men and women of God, they don't care about the people. They have no compassion, and they have no feelings or anything towards anybody. And I'm trying to find that story. But while I'm trying to find that, see, can you just tell me, how would you feel if you were in that situation and you were mourning over the loss of your parent or your loved one, and this person that's supposed to be the man or woman of God comes out and says something like that? How would you feel?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I will be extremely pissed, because first of all, that is the moment that you're laying your family member, your parent, to rest. You will never be able to see them in the earthly realm again. And, I would be past devastated. See, I would be to the point where I would want to just the whole damn church up, and I would want to burn that little sacred cup that he was upset about that they done knocked over. See, because that right there, if you cherish, now I do understand Catholics have their tradition, they do things that way, and what it seems like is that they value the tradition more than they value the life of that deceased person and the feelings of the family that was in there. Because the fact of the matter is, like I was, now I had actually heard about that, and I'm glad that you're going to go ahead and find all the stuff for that, because I was actually reading somewhere, so that's why I'm saying, like, I'm glad you're gonna find it. But I was reading somewhere where they were talking about how the family had to end up taking the casket out and taking it to another location. Now, see, that right there is gonna burn in their memory of how the last moments of their family or the last moments of their mother, you know, and that priest, I'm sorry to say it, but I'm going to say it, he needs to burn his ass in hell right now. I am so serious about that because your secret cup means nothing. That mitten for that one moment, you could have picked it up, sat it back up, everything would have been okay. But you're gonna disrespect the family, but not only the family, but the deceased that way.
Right.
I don't think so. He had no conscience. He didn't care. And that is what's wrong. You know, people are lacking love. They're lacking compassion. They're lacking kindness. And I'm telling you, that man is going to need somebody one day. I kid you not. And I would not be surprised if nobody's there for his sick ass. Excuse me, but I had to say it. Yeah. It's ridiculous, and I really feel for that family.
Yeah, we got a comment, and it's a good comment. Like, somebody just said, like my cousin Chan, she just said, this is why people are having a hard time believing in God, and they're having a hard time of wanting to even be a part of the church because of stuff like this. And like she said, right. I understand that he was upset, but he didn't have to go that far to just end the service. That was just horrible. So I did find the clip of this news clip, and I'm going to play it real quick so we can get a context of what we're discussing tonight. And I'm hoping that this is a good clip. So we're going to go to this, and we're going to see what's going on.
Washington is apologizing after a priest kicked a family out of the church in the middle of their mother's funeral. Reverend Michael Breesy was caught on camera last week in a confrontation with the family at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Maryland. Apparently, this started when someone accidentally knocked over and damaged a chalice. As Angela Hicks's funeral, he called the mourners crackheads and prostitutes and demanded they get out of the church and that no funeral would be held. The relatives were devastated that their mother's service was not at the church where she was baptized as a little girl.
It's uncalled for at that church. And it really hurt me. Really do. To see your loved one come there to rest and be shut down like that.
He disrespected my mother. He called my mother a thing. He said, get this thing out of my church. Everyone get the hell out of my church.
Another priest at a nearby funeral home conducted the funeral mass. Meantime, the Archdiocese sent an apology to the family, a letter, and they placed that reverend on administrative leave.
All right, it's time to go in, y'all. It's time to go in because I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna keep it 100 because, you know, like I try to respect, you know, the man and woman of God, try to be respectful of, you know, when I go to the house of the Lord. But I'm gonna tell you that if that would have happened to me on that Sunday or whenever, or not Sunday or Saturday or whenever they had their funeral, I would have tore the house down. Like, seriously. Yeah. For you to get in there and say this to a grieving family and call them, and did you hear in the clip, he called them, and I didn't even hear this. I didn't even know this part of the story. He called them a bunch of crackheads and prostitutes and whatever he said. I don't know what he said, but he called them crackheads. Like, who does that?
Oh, honey. Apparently he's dumb, but did just ridiculous, you know. And I hate to cut you off, but my thing is, okay, see, that was a moment of them being stereotyped simply because they were black. So, you know, so you have an African American family up in there that is holding a service, and because your little chalice was kicked over and damaged, which I'm pretty sure you make enough money, you can go and get another one. You want to call them crackheads and prostitutes. Okay. My thing is why? What was the purpose of you doing this? So you're lashing out, so that means that is your inner feeling about African American people in the first place.
Right.
Because that's not going to come out of nowhere. So he's always had these feelings, but because he's a public figure and because he has a traditional act or whatever you want to call it, so therefore he had to kind of hide those feelings. But like the saying says, of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. He was feeling that all along. Because if he wasn't, that would not have come out at all.
Right. And it's just a shame. But Dior, this is my thing too, and I want you to comment on this too. These same people, you want to get that mad over a knocked over chalice, but I don't see these people in the Catholic Church, because these people were Catholic. Where was all this outrage? What's all this outrage when it comes to all these priests and stuff molesting these young boys and girls? You ain't getting mad about that. But you get mad about somebody else. But that goes to show you they care more about status, they care more about money, and they care more about material things than actual human beings. And that's how it always been in the Catholic Church. They've always been like that. It's always been about the money. It's always been about how much revenue they can pull in from all the, from worldwide. So this is why we're talking about church news first, and we're gonna get into it because we got a lot of tea to talk about tonight. We gonna spill some tea, but this is why people do not want to go to the church house today, because there's so much foolishness going on.
Yes.
So that
absolutely.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that, and that's gonna lead us into our next topic. Now, I know some of you may not follow the gospel music industry a lot. You may not follow, everything that goes on in church, but there's been some stuff going on in the church lately. And there's a gospel artist I listened to. She was one of the winners on Sunday's Best. She was like one of the first winners, I think. I forget which year she won. But Leandria Johnson, I don't know if you've seen that clip, see about her. She was on Facebook Live going off. And she pretty much said F the church, like, because and she was talking about Marvin Winans, Bishop Marvin Winans, one of the Winans brothers. Yes. She said that she was at some type of function, and she said that she was sitting in there behind stage with Vashawn Mitchell, and I don't know if it was somebody else, but she said that Pastor Marvin Winans walked right past her. And I want to say she said that he looked her up and down and walked right past her and went right over there to Vashawn Mitchell and started talking to him and chopping it up and, just like some little queenie kind of like, some little, it was kind of real catty. And she said that kind of hurt her feelings because she said that she grew up listening to Marvin Winans, and she says that I'm a product of you. My mother used to listen to you when I was in her womb. So she said, I grew up admiring you, and for whatever reason, he just did that to her. So that was one of the things that caused the rant. And I'm going to go to a clip real quick. This is just like, wow, she went off. Like, she said a lot of stuff in this long clip talking about how y'all give y'all money to these pastors. I said, why are they prospering and you not? And she was just talking about all this foolishness going on in the church. But I'm going to play a clip of it's only a minute, but but the rant was like over 48 minutes. But I'm gonna go to this real quick, and I'm gonna come back with the rest of my commentary.
I don't care whose spiritual father he is. He could have been mine, but no, he wanted to go past me like I was something, like I was a peasant. Walk right past me like I was a peasant. Really? Really? You gonna walk past me? Really? And you ain't even know. I'm a product of you. But it's all good though. Now you know. Now you know though. Now you know. I tell you like this. I know what I have. I know what I have, and I know who I am. I tell you that. And I'm gonna tell you like this right here, on some real nigga shit. Now y'all go spread that. Y'all gonna make that viral. Love, peace, and happiness to those who know the truth and who tired of this Christianity bullshit.
Ooh, not the Christianity bullshit.
You gonna drill at me? Baby, let me tell you something. I sing gospel and I love God. But baby, if you wanna go there, we can go there. And to everybody I heard who do not agree with me, that's all good. It's your opinion. Because we're still down here. We're all still down here. When you get the keys to heaven, let me know. I have nothing to hide. But trust me, there is something that you don't know that you would never know. So if what I'm showing you and telling you is bringing you to your knees, God almighty, if I just told you some of the things that I ain't going to tell you.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, so that's what's been going on. And then I know you know who Dietrich Haddon is, right? You know who Dietrich Haddon is?
Yes.
So he had the nerve to jump up on, I don't know if it was on Instagram or Facebook Live, and then he had the nerve to put his 2 cents in it when he's the last person need to be talking about anybody. Dietrich Haddon don't have no business talking about nobody the way he did his ex-wife and had that doing affair on his wife. But you want to tell somebody that they don't have no business talking about church hurt. I said, you are the part of the reason why people feel the way they feel about the church, but you want to tell somebody they ain't supposed to talk about church hurt. I said, church hurt is very real. There's been stuff going on in these churches. People have been getting molested. People been getting robbed. People been having their wives stolen from them in the church. People been having their husbands stole from them in the church. Kids being molested. But you want to talk about ain't no such thing as church hurt. You better sit on down somewhere with that foolishness. That's foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you, like, I feel like I said, I love Leandria Johnson. I said she's very talented, and I agree with what she said, but it's just like I understand how she said it was kind of messed up. Like, but I still like her. I feel that she's always been there. Like she ain't been no hypocrite. She's always been very open about her life and what she's been through. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I respect about her. And you can say what you want to say about her, but she is real. Now, I think that the message would have been better perceived and she would have said it a different way. But we have to talk about that because we got people like, and this is another story I want to talk about. I know you've been hearing about, I don't know if you know who Brian Corn is, that prophet Brian Corn. You ever heard?
I've heard the name, but I don't think I've ever seen him, but I have heard that name.
Oh, you probably know if you say he got them big old chili soup cooler lips. You would know that you would know who that big lip. Let me stop. You would know who he is if you seen him. And a matter of fact, I think who's that? He used to be on. Sometimes he's on TBN, and I think what's that? I think he's an evangelist. Perry Stone, not Perry Stone, but I forgot who it is. But he was the one that brought him out to the limelight, and I think he's done stuff with Benny Hinn, all them frauds. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, he's been linked up with all those frauds. So, what's going on with this situation is that we're talking about now is allegedly, Brian Corn was sleeping with his praise and worship leader at his church. No, he was sleeping with his praise and worship leader's wife. And I guess the man's name is Pierre Whitlow, and I guess he had went out of town. And while he was out of town handling some family business or whatever, he said Brian Corn came over there, kind of eased his way over to that woman's house, talking about he had some business to talk to her about the church. And then he came over there late at night. That's what it's allegedly. And come to find out, he done sat up here and smashed this chick and had sex with her, and eventually came out that he was sleeping with this man's wife. Now, this is the same man that wants to always get his ugly behind on the video and talk about people being immoral. We'll talk about the gays. You want to talk about just morality in general, and you just always just going in on people. But you sitting up here having sex with this man's wife. You knew exactly what you was doing because you waited until he went out of town to take your behind over there to sleep with this man's wife. And not to mention, this ain't the first time that he's been in the media for some foolishness. Like, he was in the media recently because well, yeah, about a year ago, he had made a prophecy. Now, mind you, this is supposed to be a prophetic man of God. They had went back on YouTube and linked his prophecy. Now, this dude talking about all kinds of stuff that ain't edifying the church. You talking about who's going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to be president, which he said Donald Trump wouldn't be president, but he lied about that. So right then and there, that destroys your credibility. But they said that they found his prophecy verbatim online from this woman that's a witch. She's a psychic witch, and he took her prophecy for word by word, and yeah, and got up in front of the church and used this woman's prophecy as if it was his own. So right there, we're dealing with this type of person. Yes. So,
see,
yeah.
See, now here's my thing, okay? First of all, you know, there's no business that you need to be taken care of with no person's spouse, especially their wife, while the husband is away. You know good and well you didn't have no business to take care of. You just wanted what was inside her drive, and I'm just gonna keep it real. But on top of that, if you call yourself a prophet, then you should have seen in the future that your ass is gonna be all over the news and in the newspaper and online or whatever because of what you're doing. So and that was really like a little joke, but I'm just saying that first of all, you're wrong. But my thing is this: if you call yourself a man of God, and if that is what you really call yourself, then there's absolutely no reason for you to be doing no little sly, snaky ass stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Because really, people are seeing you as being someone that is not saved, someone that is not real, someone that does not mean what he's talking about, someone who is just like the next person out here just trying to scheme and trying to get what they want. So, so really you're putting a bad name on people that have the same title as you. You know what I mean? So it's just, so really you have to watch what you do. But the thing is that he wanted what he wanted and he went after it and he got it. And it's a shame that he did that, but that right there is just so messy.
But let me ask you this, see, and this is something else that a lot of people been saying, because I'm gonna get on, because my boy Demario Jobs, he has a show on YouTube, King Jobs. He talked about this before. He said this man is, honey, they say he been messing with the girls, he been messing with the boys, the girls, and everything in between. They said, honey, he go every which way. Honey, he don't got no discretion. He said allegedly that Brian Corn was hitting him up in his inbox at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, talking about some Bible scriptures over the phone. Now, let me tell you something. Who gonna be talking about some Bible scriptures at 11, 12 o'clock in the morning? We already know what that is, and we know what the code word for that is. That really? Mm-hmm. And this ain't the first time. Let me tell you something else. It was alleged several years ago he had passed an STD on to some other girl too. Some young girl too. He was messing around with. So this man has been out here slanging dirty dick everywhere. I said you ain't just giving out the word of God, but you giving out other packages and other things that have nothing to do with the word of God. So that's what I'm telling you. Right. And I bring all this up because we have to be careful who we following. We have to be careful about who we idolize, because we're idolizing these people and they are nothing but human. We need to be turning our attention to God. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my biggest thing. I can't stand a hypocrite that wants to sit up here. That's why I don't respect a lot of these pastors and these preachers, because y'all sit up here and preach one thing, and then the same thing you want to harp on is the same thing that you doing. You doing that plus more. Like, you know what I'm saying? You sleeping with, not only you stealing money from the church and you living your lavish lifestyle, but you sitting up here stealing other people's panties in their drawers and stealing their wives and everything else. I just have a problem with that. So, yeah. And let me read, we got a comment. Wait a minute. he's passing around them devotionals that come in my junk mail daily. That's all they doing.
Yes.
Shoot. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. But we're gonna wrap this wrap this part of the show up about the religions. Like, do you have anything else to say before we move on to? I want to get on this Monique situation. Then we're gonna talk about R.Kelly after that. You got anything else to say?
No, because I'm ready to jump on Monique. You mention her name, I'm ready to go.
All right. All right. Next, we're gonna talk about Miss Monique. Now, y'all know Miss Monique. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I love Monique. Let me tell you that I love Monique. You know, a lot of people have been giving her slack lately because she been, just out here just on a campaign. Boy, she won't let up off of Oprah, Lee Daniels, or Tyler Perry. And I'm gonna tell you something. Like, they all are snakes. Like, they are snakes. Like, Lee Daniels got caught up recently because he owed Damon Dash $2 million. He been avoiding this fool for several years because he owes him money because he helped him to get his career started. And he found he rolled up on him at that Donna Ross concert, baby. He rolled up on him and honey, he had this sweater around him, baby. He was looking around like, oh my God. But Damon Dash got up in his face like, you dead wrong. I gave you $2 million and you ain't gave me my money back. And you done made that money back 10 times, like tenfold.
That's
like,
right.
But that's how black people are sometimes. We always talk about everybody else, but we'll be the first one to screw each other over. Now, you couldn't go to anybody else that could help you. And this brother helped you and gave you $2 million. And that's how you repay him by, yeah. So we already know that they all are, whatever. And I agree with Monique that there is racial and gender inequality in Hollywood. It is. So I'm not knocking her for that. And a lot of people be talking about how, her husband is this and that. I said, I just think a lot of times a lot of these people are jealous of their relationship because they ain't got no man that ain't doing them nothing. Right. Ain't trying to help them out. So I'm not against her in that. So, Lee Daniels Empire is, he's shady. That's why he can write them shady storylines because that nigga shady himself. But we gonna get on to that. But anyways, Miss Monique went on to KTLA Atlanta. It's a local news station. She did an interview and they were talking to her about and asking her questions about just different topics. And one of the topics that came up was about Roseasnne. And I'm going to go play this clip, and we're going to come back because I'm going to play part of it because it was like an 11-minute quick clip. But luckily, what she said is like in the first minute and a half that we're going to discuss, and we're going to come back with the rest of our commentary.
With Tone X in a minute, but Monique is here too. And so we're going to chat about it's very good to see. A couple things we got to ask you about.
Yes.
We talked about this before the light went on. You have a thought about the whole thing with Roseasnne?
I do. I really do. Should we wait for the break or should we share?
No, we'll share right now.
Roseasnne Barr is my sister in comedy, and she's my universal sister. And what I won't do, Sam, is throw her away for making a mistake. We've all said and done things, baby, that we wish we could take back and swallow and say, oh, but when you're in the public eye, you can't. And it's out there. But to put the title of racist on her, I can only share my experience with Roseasnne. I remember when I had the Monique show, and there were big, major black superstar talent that had white representatives. And they told their talent, that show is too black, and we really don't want you to go on there. But there was a white woman named Roseasnne Barr that showed up for me when people that looked like me. Now, I want to thank all the talent that came on the Monique show because there were some beautiful people that sat on that couch. But I remember when we were going after the big names and it was, oh, we got to get back to you. And y'all know who you saw and who you didn't see on that show.
Right.
But that woman, when we called, it wasn't a question. And she came and she sat on that sofa and they didn't hear the conversation when the cameras wasn't rolling. And that woman was giving me some beautiful words. And she said, Monique, I'm going to tell you right now, baby, they're going to consider you difficult. They're going to call you the B word because you're a woman who won't lay down and take that foolishness. So what I would ask is, yes, my sister made a mistake. And she said something that I know she wished she could take back. But what I would ask is that we don't throw her away. The consequence is what the consequence is. But I know what it is, Sam, to be thrown away based off of a lie. I know that feeling to have to fight for something when you're only fighting for equality. You're fighting for what's right and what's fair. So when I see my sister who said something out of order, out of line, she did. We cannot dress it up.
Right.
But when I see my sister saying, I made a mistake. So all I would say is to Roseasnne, baby, if you are in California right now, you have tickets to the show at the Brea Improv.
Okay.
Because what I won't do, when someone says they're sorry, and we keep teaching all of this Christianity and all of this forgiveness, but when we write in it, we seem to forget about that. And we seem to walk away from it. So for Roseasnne Barr, from Monique, I want to say to my sister, I love you. I know you made a mistake. I know you messed up, but I still won't throw you away. I won't put you on the racist list and say, oh, never again. That is my sister. And I think these are the moments that really count. Because I remember somebody asked me, Sam, with the situation that I'm going through. And they were asking my husband about it. And they said, well, what do you say about the people that don't speak out, that don't say anything, and they know what, Monique is dealing with? He said, in history, you find out who your friends are when you're going through something, either in their silence or in their speaking out. Right. You find out. So I want Roseasnne Barr to know, sister, you have a friend in me. You have a friend in me. To Sister Valerie, you have a friend in me. Because when we talk about this unity and this sisterhood, I would like to see those two women come together. And Roseasnne, you've got to give her an apology. You got to say, I'm sorry. But the spirit that I know of Valerie would say, hey, baby, but let's not us jump on the bandwagon of balling us up and throwing us away.
Can I bring up another B word? It's a B word that's been associated now with you in your career, and this word blackballed.
Yes.
Do you feel you have been blackballed?
At this point, yes, Sam.
Okay.
And, people keep saying to me, why don't you move on? Why don't you let it go? And then when you know our history of Hollywood and Black Hollywood, they told Eartha Kitt the same thing. They told Paul Robeson the same thing. They told Hattie McDaniel the same thing. And the list goes on and on and on. So.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. That's a lot to talk about there. That's a lot to talk about there, because this is my thing. Like, okay, I understand what she's saying. She got some good points or whatever. But at what point is she going to start practicing what she preaching? Because you sitting up here telling people that we need to forgive somebody like Roseasnne that has always said problematic stuff in the media. You want to sit there and tell us that we need to forgive her, but you won't forgive Oprah, Lee Daniels, or Tyler Perry. So shouldn't that be the same thing? Like, if you're gonna tell us that we need to get over that, but see, that's how it is, and that's why I say about Monique. She only cares about stuff like she said. Well, I can only say how she treated me. Okay, that goes to show you should be looking at it as a collective thing. And my thing is, if you forgive her, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? And you should have just kept that to yourself. Like, but for you to kind of make it seem like that we have to overlook what she says, that to me, that's a crock of bull crap. I'm sorry, this is just how I feel about it. So what do you feel about that?
To me, well, my thing is this, okay, so I agree with everything that you just said, and you're absolutely correct on that, because you can't say all this stuff, but yet and still, when the door closes behind you, you still have those same feelings that you're talking against. And not only that, to me, I feel like that this is a little stunt that she's trying to pull so that people can, so that she can be out here in the public and people, have something to actually talk about as far as she is concerned. But my thing is, okay, my question is, do you really believe the things that you're saying? Because I personally, by how she is just drowning in this entire soreness that she has because of what somebody has done to her, well, okay. But now, my thing is this. Now, what Roseasnne said was wrong. And what the consequence was her being removed from the show, and then the show went on, and then the show gets canceled. That costs a lot of people contracts, money, all of that. But the fact of the matter is that she said it, okay, and if she wants to apologize, that's fine. But the fact is that it was still put out there. But Monique cannot get out here and try to erase what was said. That cannot be erased, and basically, your name does not carry so much pull to where when you get out here and make these comments to actually promote her forgiveness, that is not going to change people's mind frame of her, and it's definitely not going to change people's mind frame of you. So really, you have to be real at all times.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't try to sell yourself out on the account of somebody else. And that's what I think that she did.
Right. And this is my thing too. It's like Roseasnne ain't really sorry, man. Like she's still out here talking reckless, and she's still back out here, just saying all kind of reckless stuff. Like she was just on this one show recently looking like a mad woman. Like she's just looking real darn crazy. And I think that this whole situation with her show being canceled, I think it's really, really messed with her mentally. Like even her ex-husband, Tom Arnold, said that like this is taking a toll on her, and she's always been a little crazy. But she got on this interview talking about, I didn't even know, and these are the words I'm gonna quote, I didn't even know the bitch was black. I didn't even know this, and that's what she said. So I guess she feels like, okay, it would have been okay for her to say it as long as the woman was not black. Now, come on now. Like, you knew that woman. Why would you say that? Like, why would you say that?
Right.
You knew that woman was black. She just looked, And like somebody said in the comments, she did look like she was on drugs. Like, and she's just done lost her mind. Like, to me, like, first of all, you have to be crazy to have an opportunity like you did. Like, the show was renewed for a second season right after the first episode. And, like, this show was very successful. Like, it was a milestone. And, for you to get on there and even risk that by saying some foolishness about like that already tells me what your mental state is. You can't be all there.
That's right.
But Miss Monique, I'm telling you, Monique's making a lot of bad decisions right now. And that was something I would have just not even said anything about. Like, that's right. She's just digging herself in a I don't know, she's digging her own grave. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, you know what? And my thing is, okay, so if her husband, Sydney, is her manager, what I want to know is that her husband is being her manager, encourage her to not say something, or did she go behind his back and still say something? Like, that's really what I want to know. You know what I mean? Because it's like, even when she was on the Breakfast Club show, and her husband was there with her. Her husband was actually, trying to guide her into saying these things and not say this, and was really correcting her. So that's why I'm like, it kind of seems like she just went on here and just done her own little thing. But you're right, she is digging a huge sinkhole. And this is going to be one of those sinkholes where she's not going to be able to get out of. I don't care how high that bun she went on top of her head. Honey, that ain't going to be able to show because they ain't going to be able to see her. She's going to be like a black dot sitting on something or whatever. Like she's going to be gone. And, and you're right. She really needs to be careful about who she tries to promote and who she tries to encourage and all that kind of stuff, because she keeps talking about she's blackballed and she's this and she's that. Well, you keep going along with the people that's doing the wrong thing, then honey, you're going to be further down than what they are.
Right.
So yeah, so she really needs to chill out.
Yeah, and she needs to listen to that Cardi B song, Be Careful, because she needs to be careful about what the things that she's putting out here in the media. You have to. Like,
That's
Monique,
right.
like, I love you to death. I love you, sis. I love you. I want to see you succeed, because Monique she won them round the way girls from Baltimore. She'll get your ass together, but somebody need to get her together at this point and tell her that you got to make some wiser decisions and you got to get your stuff together. And that's all I'm saying about the situation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right. So I want to move on to, we were just talking about, you mentioned something about the Breakfast Club. I'm going to get on, we're going to get to R.Kelly next, but this segues into the whole Charlamagne Tha God situation, which his real name is Leonard Larry McKinley. So I don't know if you've been following the news. They've been saying that recently some old allegations or old case has been resurfaced about him being allegedly involved with this young girl that was at the time she was 15. They said that she was he had brought this girl to a party and the girl ended up getting raped. And at the time, her mother didn't want all that publicity, so she pretty much said, made the decision that not to go forward with the charges or nothing. So I guess Charlamagne Tha God made a plea deal, and I guess he got some lesser charges and some probation or whatever, and pretty much the case was dropped. So now this girl, she's in her early 30s now, and I guess she feels some type of way now because at the time she was a child and her mother made that decision for her. I said, we're not going to press these charges, but now she wants the case to be reopened because she feels that Charlamagne Tha God is sitting up here. You're supposed to be this public icon, and you sitting up here like on public platforms joking about the situation. And he said some distasteful things about sleeping with women while they were drunk and like putting Spanish fly, in their drinks and stuff like that. And she's feeling like he's kind of rubbing salt in the wound, like indirectly. So like, this is my thing about Charlamagne Tha God. Like, I'm not hating on the brother or whatever, but I've never really cared for him. Like I've just never cared for him. I think that he speaks on things that he doesn't know about. I think he's very problematic for the black community. And I think he's a joke. I don't care for him, and to me, like for you to be sitting up here always preaching and talking about black people need to do this and that, and you want, and you sitting up here doing this. Like he wanted to get on Tekashi 6ix9ine and clown him about his case. I guess they said that when he was 18, I guess this girl, that she was like 13 or 14 or something, claimed that Tekashi raped her. You was getting on his behind about that, but you wasn't telling nobody about this situation that happened to you. Now, you being a 22-year-old man, you didn't have no business. You had no business even associating with no 15-year-old. Because at that point, like, my thing is, what are you getting out of a 15-year-old, baby? Y'all conversation ain't even on the same part. What can she talk to you about? I mean, you can't even take her to the bar. She ain't even down to the bar. You can't take her nowhere. She only 15 years old. Y'all can't even do nothing together. Only thing you can get that girl is a going Happy Meal and some barrettes for her head at the damn dollar store. That's the only thing you can get for that girl.
Right.
But this is what I'm saying, man. It's just the hypocrisy of the thing. And for you to say these problematic things, man, it's just sickening.
Yes.
So what do you what do you feel about that? This case?
My thing is, okay. Now, he was so damn lucky, and I'm saying lucky because when he accepted that plea and it vacated that entire case, my thing is that your mouth shouldn't have opened about nothing of that matter, not anything that even relates to rape, Nothing like that. Because you done already been accused of it. You done took the plea, which means that you're saying, okay, I do admit. But my thing is this, okay, then years later, now the woman's in her 30s or whatever, and he's however old. And my thing is that, you know, now you want to start running your mouth about stuff. You want to say this and you want to say that. See, he is very egotistical. He is very, you know, and he has a nasty mouth anyway. And he's very blunt in a nasty and a negative way. And you're right. He actually thinks it's all about him. That's why I believe that's why his name is what it is on that show, because he thinks everything surrounds him.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is that he was wrong in every aspect. And my thing is that, okay, that brought about memories to that young lady that went through what she went through. And my thing is that he thinks that, okay, because I done already served my time, or, you know, I done already took this plea, so everything is fine, so I can say what I want to say. Well, really what he failed to realize is that when he took that plea, there are terms in pleas that basically tells you that there are certain things that you are to refrain from. So why does he think that this entire thing surfaced back up? Because he got out there and ran this cocky ass mouth for no reason, and he done messed himself up again. So, you know, this should be a teaching or a learning mechanism for him that he needs to stop thinking that he's all of that, stop running his mouth and just shut the hell up. That's really what he needs to do. But see, with people like that can't, because they have to be heard all the time. You know, he has to be heard and he has to be seen. But see, every time you step out there like that, you're going to get caught up, and that's exactly what happens to him again. So, you know, so really I will say that this is exactly what he did.
Right. So let's hope. Well, like you said, his HBO deal has been snatched from him. And I told people when this happened, man, with this whole Me Too movement, people are not trying to touch anybody that's even been accused of no stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't even want to deal with nobody that's been accused of that stuff. So this is my thing is, you know, you want to get on everybody else about their stuff, but baby, let's talk about your situation. You don't want to talk about that, though. You don't want to talk about that. So I don't know. We're gonna keep following this story and see what happens, because there's been more developments. The girl, she's trying to take the situation up to the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, and as of now, the state is refusing to reopen the case. So we're going to see what happens with this as developments keep coming in. So we're going to follow that story, because this is like really crazy. Like, and this is kind of giving, like, people been giving him the side eye, like, especially with these clips coming out and the things that he said in the past about rape and stuff like that. It's really caused people to look at him some type of way. Now, with that being said, we're going to move right on over to the R.Kelly situation. And I know y'all been hearing about Mr. Kelly now, or I should say Miss Kelly, because baby, it's been some things coming out about Mr. Robert Williams, whatever his name is in real life. Boy, let me tell you, they said that this man has been doing some shady things for years. And this girl, and we're going to get to the song that he just released called I Admit, which he pretty much, it's like a 20-minute song where he's admitting to all this stuff that he's done. Like, just being the typical belligerent, disgusting. Yeah, exactly, Chan Queen Kelly. So, yeah, he's been accused, like, these girls are coming out. Like, there's so many pieces of this story I want to get on, because this goes really deep. Like, we all know about the marriage to Aaliyah when she was under 18. Like, he married her, and we know about that. And then just the case years ago where he was caught on that video pissing on that girl. You remember that?
Yes.
So we know this guy's had a history of sexual deviancy, but it's been more women coming out in the past couple years saying that this man has a sex, like he brainwashes these girls, keep them at his house, and he has made these girls do all kind of lascivious acts, all kind of just horrible just things to him. And I don't know if you guys follow this lady on YouTube. Her name is Unwind with Tasha K, but she did an interview with one of the girls that was allegedly at the under R.Kelly's control. And baby, she spilled the tea. She said that R.Kelly has a friend, he has a friend called Bubba. His name is Bubba. And she said that R.Kelly used to show him pictures of him and Bubba. Like Bubba was giving him head and giving him oral sex and doing all kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
Yes. So, and then she said not only that, she said that R. Kelly, he could never orgasm just having regular sex with the woman. She said that he would make her put on a strap on and bend him over and go up in his hind quarters and go up in between them double beef patties, hard and deep. And it was just at a point like she said, "Nah, baby, let's let me do it." And he would back up on it and do it himself. And they said that's the only way he could get off. And he's been accused allegedly of passing STDs, herpes too.
Oh my God.
So I'm telling you, Mr. Kelly is just doing the most. And I guess in this new song, I'm gonna go over some of the lyrics real quick. Like I'm on this article that they have all the lyrics. But I guess he admitted in this song he can't read, he can't write or count money. And he said that a lot of his contracts, like he don't even own the rights to his song because he signed all his rights away unknowingly. He admits to screwing all these fans. He admitted to a lot of stuff. I don't even really want to get into this because it's just really just really twisted. Like I just don't know at this point who is still following R. Kelly, who is still singing and playing his music. Like who's still doing that? Because you know Tom Joyner, that he even said something about this in the song. He talked about how Tom Joyner and Steve Harvey have pulled support from him, and rightfully so. Like who? My thing is, who is still listening to R. Kelly at this point? You know he's been doing all this stuff. Like, and I ain't trying to throw no shade, y'all. I just got to just say this. I'm so sick. It's a karaoke spot that I go to here in Indianapolis, and I'm sorry. I don't care who feel this kind of way about it, but I'm saying what I got to say. I'm sick and tired of you motherfuckers still singing "I Believe I Can Fly," and you know what this motherfucker. When this motherfucker need to take them wings and he talking about he can fly and fly straight to hell, and y'all still singing this fool stuff. Like, what's wrong with us? Like, what is wrong with us? Like, we'll support something like that, but then you want to come down on other groups of people that just want to live their life and be happy. Like, I don't understand. This just the hypocrisy in the black community is so real.
But you know, let me say this real quick. See, now I know that I remember when the song came out. You know, like this new song or whatever that he has. And I was driving somewhere and it was like I was hearing bits and pieces because I was trying to make sense of what the song was saying. And I remember, you know, how he was talking about how he couldn't read and how he couldn't count and all this kind of stuff. And my thing is, okay, you sure know how to sexually abuse these people, these kids, these women, you know, and so you know how to do that. But you mean to tell me that you don't know how to read and you can't count, you can't think? Really? You can't do that, but you know how to go to the store and get these little sexual toys and stuff and have all this, all this fun and stuff with these women. Well, I say fun because it's fun to him, but you torture these women and then you abuse these kids and stuff, but you can't read. And then, and then you're going to put a pen in your damn hand and sign your life away, but you know how to abuse people. Okay, see, something's wrong with the picture.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Oh
my God.
So let me ask you this. At this point, what do you say to the people out here that's still supporting R. Kelly? Especially these thirsty ass women that go to these concerts throwing their panties and throwing their ass on stage for this month. What do you have to say about somebody that's still, even after all this proof has came out, what do you have to say about somebody that still supports R. Kelly?
They sick asses, and if they listening to my voice, let me tell you something, you sick, and you need to go on over there and be his maid and just live with him. Take yourself out of society, remove yourself from your job, from your hometown, going over there and isolate yourself because you ain't shit. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say that, because anytime you still think that a sick person like that who promotes torture, who promotes shame, who promotes ignorance, really, because that is a lack of knowledge that he does not have, because he don't know how to read right. He don't know how to spell. Well, I'm not going to say spell, but he don't know how to count. He don't know how to comprehend, so he is ignorant, and you are too if you still promote something like this. So basically what you're saying is that he is, still a great artist. You're saying that, he deserves a chance. No, he does not. Because anytime you repetitiously do things like that, you don't deserve anything but ass whooping. That's what you deserve.
Right.
And really, he has not gotten what he deserves. I'm not talking about harm to him, so I'm just gonna put that out there. I do not believe in no killing. I don't believe in all that, but I believe in strapping his ass down and beating his ass. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Beating him.
But because obviously the legal system is not going to do anything about it at this point.
They're not. No.
So I don't know. It just the whole situation is just crazy, and I know we're just gonna keep having developments on this story because it's just something that's never going to end with him. Like he gets on these interviews, and Chan, I don't know if my cousin Chan's on her. She showed me this interview where he was on there going off on the woman. The woman was being respectful. She was just trying to get his side of things about these allegations. He didn't want to talk about it. He gonna tell that woman what she want to talk about, but you came on her show.
Yeah. Well, apparently he couldn't read and understand to know whose show it was on. That's what happens. That's what happened when you can't read. Right. That's right.
So, all right, we got a couple more stories, and then because I know you got to get off here soon, but we got a couple more stories that I want to touch on, and this is more of a serious thing that we need to talk about.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about our sister Nia Wilson that was tragically killed by just a satanic, just an evil man, white supremacist, which is call it what it is, and we're just gonna talk about how this has been going on, and plus, like, there was an incident in Florida where a man shot this black man in cold blood, and the man was unarmed. And the police chief is sticking by this man that's been known to harass other black people, and he was saying, "Well, this is the stand your ground case." So we're gonna get to that in a minute, and we're gonna talk about that. And then the last thing we're gonna talk about, so there's three more things I really want to get on for sure before we get off here. I want to get on the tragic death, and just the incident of the Duckboat drowning in Missouri. So we just know, we've been watching that, been following that, and it's just been really just tragic. My my prayers go out to all the families that have been affected by this. And and it's just all the stuff that's just been transpiring since, it's just crazy that all these people lost their lives, and it's just really, it really drives home the fact that we have to live our lives in a way to, like, we got to be ready. We have to be ready, and we have to love one another, because you don't know when somebody's going to be taken from you. You have to just live like that. Right. You have to. So we're going to do that. But let's talk about Miss Nia Wilson. And did you hear about that situation, about that crazy man in California?
I did not.
Yes.
No. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we're going to go to a clip really quick, kind of outlining that situation. And then I'm going to read an article real quick. And then we're going to talk about that. And let me go find this clip. Okay, this is the sister, because it was two sisters that got stabbed. One of them lived, and she gives an account of the killer and how the man just stabbed him and ran up the steps and just looked down the steps at him and just stared while he wiped his knife off and just disappeared. So this is the sister, and it was just really hard to hear this sister just talk about how, her little baby sister got stabbed, and how she had to pretty much watch this maniac, just do this and just disappear. Like, he didn't have no care in the world. He just did this and just didn't have no emotion. So I'm gonna go to what her sister said in the press release, and I'm gonna come back with the rest of my commentary.
I feel like I didn't protect her like I was supposed to. Little sister was the most sweetest person on this earth. She didn't do nothing to nobody. I didn't do nothing to nobody. And for this to happen is just outright crazy. We just coming from a family function, and going on our way home like we usually don't talk to nobody, just listening to our music. And all of a sudden we transfer, and just to get blindsided by a maniac. For what? I don't know why. We was letting the BART passenger and her child come out from the train so we can enter. By the time my other little sister, she was on train. So we let the woman back up with her stroller. She backed up as we walking on. Then he started attacking. And I looked back, and he was wiping off his knife and stood at the stairs and just looked. And then from there on, I was caring for my sister. I was in shock because I was hurting from the side. So I didn't know I was cut, but because I was paying more attention to my little sister. But he just stood there like it was nothing. And he just ran. He fled the scene. She just yelled my name. Tifa, Tifa, Tifa. And I said, I got you, baby, I got you. Just calm down, because she has real bad anxiety.
And what did you say to her in those final moments as you were with her?
I love her. And we're going to get through this. I got you. You're my baby sister. Remember her for her. Not what you hear. That was my little sister. Loving, caring, helping any and everybody. But I just wish that it'll be more helpful if we get more security or make the BART more safer, because we don't ride BART like that. She hate BART. She will not sit on BART. She will just stand there. She will not catch BART only if we really have to go somewhere. And that's myself too. As young Black women, we shouldn't have to look behind our back 24/7. We should be living freely like everybody else. While everybody else gets to live freely, and we got to look behind our back every 24/7 because of fear of like this. you know, he didn't know us, we didn't know him. Wasn't no altercation, but he just felt upon himself to take his anger or whatever the case may be on innocent women. I just want justice for my sister.
All right. You know what's just really sad is it's like we need to come to a realization in this country that we have a race problem, and we have black people need to get in high alert. They need to get serious. We need to start being aware of our surroundings, and we got to start calling a thing. Like, we are living in a racial climate to where nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. Nobody wants to talk about the issue. We've been dealing with these issues, and this sad that these two young black sisters, these women, had to go through this, and this man, and I think they finally caught the man. They did catch the man.
Good.
Yeah, they caught the guy. And I'm going to find his name really quick because I want everybody to know who this monster is. Like, yeah. Yeah, because we need to know who these people are. We have to know who these people are. But, you know, everybody wants to always talk about black on black crime. They're going to talk about what's going on in our issues. But you got people like this that are just out here killing for no reason. Just going into these churches. They're going into these schools. They just mowing down people in the streets. And then we have a president that's not even speaking up for it. And if anything, he's encouraging this stuff.
Yes.
And it's just really, really, really sad that we're living in these times. We have to start learning how to defend ourselves. We have to learn, if you live in a state where you can carry mace or a gun or permit, you have to do what you have to do to take care of yourself, because these people are killing us in cold blood and they're getting off scot-free. So you have to learn how to take your life seriously and take it into your own hands and do what you have to do. And you know, and it's sad because it's not all white people are doing this stuff, but these people, these white supremacists, they don't even care about their own race. They'll kill other white people that are out here speaking up against it. They don't care. These people are the spawn of Satan. They have no regards to life. They don't care about their own family. They don't care about anybody else. So what do you think? Why would you think they're going to care about your black ass? And y'all want to sit up here and play games with these people. It's just sad. God. This girl was so beautiful. Like, she was, you know, just life snatched from her, you know. I'm trying to see. I'm going to look this. I'm still looking this up. Because I want to name this person. I forgot what his name was. And I thought I wrote it down in my notes for the show, but I must have forgot about it. Let's see, because we need to know who this guy is.
Yes, definitely. Ooh,
yes, his name is John Cowell. Last name spelled Cowell. So I believe they finally called him. And I just want to see what happens.
Yes.
I'm really wanting to see what happens, because this is sad that we still are dealing with this stuff, and nobody is like, we have to start taking this serious ourselves. We you know, instead of everybody, you know, us hating on one another and trying to put each other down. I wish sometimes this is what kills me. See, like, the way we clown and belittle and go after each other in our community. I wish we would use that same energy to attack or go after or try to go after these people that are meaning our community no good.
That's right. Absolutely. Yes. So and I do agree with that. My thing is this, okay, so you have this white man who went after 2 African American sisters. And my thing is this, okay, he felt so confident in doing that because he just knew that his color was a means of protection for him. Because, see, things like that have been condoned for years, and it's becoming more serious as the years progress. But the thing is that, for him to just go up to the top of the stairs and wipe his knife off like he just accomplished a great thing, like he just done something that was just so great. And, he wipes it off like he just conquered some type of obstacle or whatever the case may be, and then just runs off. That's a coward. That's a sick coward. And I'm going to tell you something. I know that he has probably done showed throughout the years behavior of a psychopath, behavior of a killer, and it has been ignored. It has been ignored. For this man to just blatantly come out and just do that, there have been signs that have been all over his head about the type of person that he is, but it has been ignored by his family. I don't know if his parents are still alive, but I'm pretty sure that as a young child, it probably showed then as well. But see, because our officers out here that condone the same thing, so they really don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like almost like the system is really, I feel like this. The system is going to give him a break simply because he's a white man. And I put it out there, and I'm just here to say right now, if people don't like that, they just don't like it. But the system is going to give this man a break simply because of his color. Because, like I said, he feels as if his color is a means of protection for him. He didn't care because he just knew that everything was going to be fine for him. But this mess needs to stop. It needs to stop.
Yeah, it has to. And this is why it's important that we have to get out here and vote in November. Stop voting because you feel like it's based on party or something. You need to know what these people's platforms are and what they stand for.
Right.
We have to take this serious, y'all. We have to. We just have to.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
So, I'm gonna move on real quick. We got 2 more quick stories, and we're gonna jump up off here. Moving pretty quick tonight, honestly. So, little over hour and 19 minutes. So, we're gonna get off here in the next 10 minutes or less.
Okay.
Now, I mentioned about the story in Florida about Marquise McLaughlin. He was the black gentleman that was killed down outside of I think it was a convenience store or gas station, and this monster by the name of Michael Draker was outside harassing his wife. Like, she was parked and he was harassing her. And this man has been known to be harassing black people, saying racist stuff, calling them the N-word. He's just been terrorizing black people. So he came out there defending her. And he wasn't even armed, but he just pushed the guy away, said, hey, get away from my wife. Like, he was threatening the wife and stuff. And the guy pulled out a gun and shot him dead.
Oh, wow.
Now the sheriff,
Oh,
the sheriff is declining to arrest Michael Draker for killing Marquise McLaughlin, and he's saying doing this on the grounds of Florida's Stand Your Ground law.
Yes.
So he's been getting a lot of backlash from this, and this is my thing: when black people try to use that same law, they're still thrown in prison.
That's right.
This is the same state where they allowed George Zimmerman to kill Trayvon Martin.
Mm-hmm.
So now, black people, we have a thing. Like, we have a situation now that we have to address. Why is the law being applied to them but not being applied to allow? Why can't we take advantage of that law? Because there's a lot of these racists and white supremacists that are always taunting and attacking black people, but black people can't use that law in their favor. And it's not just the law. We have to look at it as a bigger picture. Like, this is the system that we live in. The laws are applied when they want to apply them to white people versus black people. That's just what it is. So we have to really start looking at this thing for what it really is. I'm gonna go to this clip real quick, because that lawyer spoke about it, and I'm gonna come back and get your commentary, and then we're gonna talk about the Duckboat drowning.
Okay.
There's a long line of these alleged stand your ground murderers in the state of Florida. Individual is the initial aggressor, starts the confrontation, and then kills the unarmed black person and claims it's self-defense. It's still ludicrous how you can claim that you're in fear of your life, but yet you approach and start the confrontation with the individuals. We have to say, no, this is not justice. We will not continue to let this epidemic of being able to confront and kill unarmed black people and then say, I was just standing my ground. It was just self-defense. There is enough evidence in this case to charge this murderer with a crime. When you look at these facts, and you look at all the facts, Brittany Jacobs was in the car with her 2 babies in the back seat. A 3-year-old daughter, a 4-month-old son, and a strange man comes up to her car, cursing and screaming, pointing his finger through the window, and the father comes out to try to protect his family, protect his property. He should have the right to have stand your ground. Why doesn't he get the right to have stand your ground? And then after the killer is on the ground, he pulls the gun out. And you watch the video frame by frame. 4 seconds pass. 4 seconds pass when he takes that gun out and points it. Marquise takes 4 steps back and is turning to leave and retreat. There's a white gentleman in the video. You see, he turns and runs. He is not in fear of his life. He is not in fear. It is not reasonable for him to shoot and kill a person who is retreating.
All right.
Oh my God. So
this is another George Zimmerman 2.0. A suspected white, well, he's not a suspected white supremacist. He is a white supremacist that has been well known. It's been documented. This guy has harassed people, and he has been given the green light to kill an unarmed black man. So we have to look at this state. That's why I don't really want to visit. I don't want to go to Florida. I have no desire to go down there. If this is how we as black people going to be treated down there, black people need to get to a point to where either you're going to deal with it, put up, shut up, move from down there, do what you got to do, because your lives are in jeopardy now. And this is giving the green light to other white supremacists to where they can do this and get away and use this bogus law, this stand your ground law, to get off. Like, it's just what it is. So we just gotta, I don't know. It's just sad. It's just sad.
Yeah, that's almost like, that's just a pass to go ahead and just kill somebody. And it's almost like, so the way that I look at it is like this, okay? How you can just give a person like a pass, and then you can get into the movies, or you can, get into like an event or something like this. Okay, so with the stand your ground rule, okay, you go ahead and you pull your gun out and you kill any type of black person that you want to go ahead and kill. And that's your pass to go ahead and get off, because one, your presence, the black person's presence, is what irritates them in the first place. They don't want them there. They're prejudiced. They're racist. So all of a sudden they go ahead, pulls a gun out on an unarmed person, goes ahead and kills them, and their excuse is, oh, I'm just standing my ground. Standing your ground against what? The person didn't do anything to you.
Right.
Nothing. They were not a threat.
And you were the aggressor.
Nothing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So therefore, you know, that right there, what I want to do is I want to research more as far as the stand your ground rule.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what type of statutes are in there. What is it that the stand your ground rule really promotes? Who is it really for? When was it established? Why is it used? You know, like, I want to know every aspect of this, because that's all you ever hear. You never ever hear, oh, well, the person was really breaking into the house, or they were trying to steal my car, or they were this, or they were that. It's nothing like that. It's always self-defense, stand your ground. And every time that is used, it's always proven that the black person never had a gun, was never doing anything. And have you noticed there's always a witness that is always seeing that that black person never done anything. In every instance that has happened with the stand your ground, the black person has never done anything wrong. That's what I don't understand. Right. You know what I mean? Like, this is just crazy.
Yes. So yeah, that's what's going on with this right now. At this point, I don't know if they're going to take it to a higher court or what they're going to do. But as for now, they're sticking by it. And they're saying that this man was in the right and his family's just going to have to deal with it, you know. But this is what I'm saying. All these people should not be allowed. And I'm not saying that we should incite violence. I'm not saying that. But my thing is like, black people, we have to put out a different energy, because like, these people feel like they can do this stuff and get away with it. There should be no reason why this guy should feel safe walking the streets. It shouldn't be. And it shouldn't be a reason why we still have a George Zimmerman still around, taunting the family of Trayvon Martin, still out here wilding out, doing everything under the sun. It should not even be like that. So what energy are we putting out there to where people feel like they can do this stuff to us and get away with it? So we're going to keep following these two stories about Nia Wilson and this brother that was just shot down in cold blood. We're going to keep following these stories. And if any developments come up, we're going to bring them to you. But, yeah, we have to be on high alert and know that we're living in a time and we're living in during an administration where the president is not calling these things out. He's encouraging them. And that's just what it is. Now we're gonna get to our last story real quick. This is just a real sad situation about the Duckboat drowning in Missouri, where it was so many lives lost during this tragedy. I'm gonna go to a clip real quick. And you know, it's sad because like Indianapolis, there was people from Indianapolis that were on that boat, and they were they lost their lives. So we're going to talk about that. And I got a couple things I want to talk about too as far as that situation is concerned, because I feel like the way the media kind of handled some of these situations, it was just kind of tasteless in my opinion. But we're going to go to this clip just so the people that don't know about it or don't know the details about it, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to come back.
Good evening, I'm Rena Ninen. We begin with a harrowing and heartbreaking story of survival. Tia Coleman lost 9 members of her family in the tour boat tragedy in Missouri, including her husband and 3 children. They were among 17 people killed when an amphibious duckboat capsized and sank near Branson, Missouri. The dead range in age from 1 to 76 years old. The duckboat, which drives on land and cruises on water, ran into a violent storm Thursday night. 14 people were rescued. Tia Coleman and her 13-year-old nephew were among the survivors. Omar Villafranca has her story.
Boats were on the water at Table Rock Lake as family festivities resumed in Branson, Missouri. Notably missing were the popular duck boats. Ride the Duck suspended all operations after 17 people were killed earlier this week when one of the boats sunk in a storm. On Friday night, hundreds of people gathered to remember the dead. Flowers were placed on the victims' cars left behind in the parking lot.
Oh, it's going under. It's going under.
The tragedy happened Thursday evening. Cell phone video shot from another vessel shows the Duckboat struggling to push through the choppy water as the storm blew over the lake. The video shows water splashing into the boat. It eventually sank and rests under 80 feet of water. By law, all the Duckboats have to carry life jackets, but passengers aren't required to wear them. The jackets are stored under the canopy. One woman who was on the boat said operators told them they wouldn't need the life jackets. Tia Coleman was one of the 14 survivors.
They were throwing out life jackets to people. And I said, Jesus, please keep me. Just keep me so I can get to my children. Keep me, Lord.
But Coleman's 3 children and 6 other relatives from Indiana died. The others who died on the boat include a couple from St. Louis, 68-year-old Rosemary Hammond and 69-year-old William Asher. William and Janice Bright, they were in town to celebrate their 45th wedding anniversary. 64-year-old Leslie Dennison, she's credited with saving her granddaughter. Steve Smith and his 15-year-old son Lance from Arkansas. And the driver of the boat, 73-year-old Bob Williams. Jim Pattison Jr. is president of Ripley Entertainment. They own the boating company.
Should that boat have been on the water?
Well, I think, yes, at the time, with what we knew then when we knew it, it was calm water.
But many local boaters are questioning whether the vessel should have been on the water because of the weather. The National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm watch Thursday morning. The tour started in the early afternoon. Just after 6:30 p.m., a severe thunderstorm warning was issued, alerting people that 60 to 70 mile-per-hour wind gusts were possible. The boat was still in the water when the storm hit and sank just after 7 p.m. For Tia Coleman, who is still recovering, the horror and panic from Thursday still haunt her.
The worst feeling you could ever feel. The one thing I remember saying is, if they don't make it, Lord, take me too. There's really no need for me to be here.
2 adults that were in the accident are still in the hospital in critical condition, but 2 children were released today. Rena?
Omar Villafranca and Branson. Thank you, Omar.
All right. That's like the tragic situation that happened. They just had last week they had a vigil at Mount Olive. Pastor Liggins, he was there. There's been a lot of preachers and pastors around the city being very supportive. There was even a GoFundMe page that was help the surviving members, and it raised close to $1 million from what I'm hearing. So it's been a lot of support, but I just hope everybody's able to just keep in mind that, you know, we all need to stand behind this family. Like, and I know it's going to be a lot of drama coming up, like even amongst the survivors, because I can see how this situation can get ugly, where some people are getting more support than others, and some people feel like, well, my family's not getting help, and this, that, and the other. So I just hope everybody can just keep focused. You know what I'm saying? And I just, you know, it just makes you just realize, like, sometimes I'm just gonna be honest with you. If that was me, because you can have all the faith in the world that you want, but a situation like that would cause even the strongest Christian, it would cause you to question God. Like, why did you allow this to happen? So I just want just people to know out here, you have to live your life every day like it's your last day. Like, you have to appreciate life. You have to love and appreciate your loved ones, because you don't know when they're going to be snatched from here. You just don't know. And this is just like a good, well, it's not a good, but this is just an example to demonstrate this. Like, you have to be ready at all times. And the only thing I just didn't like about this case is in the coverage is, like, this lady was grieving, and these people were just relentless in just getting her side of the story. This lady had just lost her family, and these people were just persistent in just being in this woman's face. Yeah. Like, and I'm not trying to bring race into this, but when you have white people that go through tragic things like this, and I was just talking to my mother about this, she made a good point. a lot of times they have spokesmen or spokeswomen for them to speak to the media. But these people didn't care about this woman just going through what she going through. They all in her face asking these questions. And it just and it's just like they treat us sometimes like we ain't even human beings. Like, you know, so that's the thing that bothered me about this entire situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and, you know, like, of course, I have followed this story as well. And, you know, and I know, you know, really like maybe about 3, maybe 4 of the family members who, of course, were not on that boat, but I knew those who were actually here, you know, because I deal with them. And, you know, and it's just really unfortunate to just really have to see your family off and just not even knowing that you would never see them again. And, you know, what really bothered me the most is, you know, the captain of that boat, and I know that he did not make it either, but the captain of that boat, you know, he was trained to, you know, read like the weather systems and all this kind of stuff. So knowing that there was a thunderstorm warning at 11:30 that morning, and then at 6:20 when they boarded that boat, and that thunderstorm warning was still there, which means it's warning you that there's one around. And with hearing what that owner of that company said, he said, well, because of how the weather and stuff was at that time and how the water was at that time, let me know then that you knew the severe warning was still there and was still in effect. And so it didn't even matter to him. He's just like, okay, well, we got our money. We got to let them sell. But a respectful and caring person would have said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to give you your funds back. It is too dangerous to be out here. But when I heard the deepness of that water, 80 feet, no duckboat should ever be on water of that capacity. It just should not. That, you know, like it shouldn't. And, you know, and that's just what just irritated me the most. And then you tell them that you don't have to worry about the life jackets. And when they said they pulled that boat up and the life jackets were still intact, what kind of captain is that? What kind of company is this? You know, and it's just, you know, and it's just so bothersome that you have a company out here that will still promote a ride out here on the water, and there's still a dangerous storm warning that is in effect. I truly believe that those people's lives could have been saved only if that captain had enough compassion. But what I want to know is what made that captain not make a decision on keeping them docked? Why was it that he was so dead set on selling when he knew the type of weather that was coming? That's why I don't understand. You know, there's just so many twists and turns in this, and I'm just so devastated by this because you know, and then the young man who, like the nephew of the lady that actually survived, his parents are gone, you know, and he, you know, this is just horrible.
It is.
It's horrible.
And that's why, like I said, man, it's just, if you look at this situation, it just makes you, like, the problems that you going through, it just makes you like, wow, this is nothing in compared to what these people are going through right now. It just makes you just grateful because a lot of times we complain and we, you know, we feel some type of way about life circumstances and certain situations, but we don't realize that there's somebody out there that has it better, worse than you have it. You know, so I just, like I said, we just got to keep these people in their prayers. I just hope that everybody's able to stay focused in these upcoming days. People don't start bickering and fighting and being greedy and all that stuff, because that stuff happens. And I just hope everybody stays focused and just, you know, just continues just supporting one another, because, you know, these families are going to need every ounce of support that they can get in these upcoming days and months. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my thoughts about it, and that's pretty much it.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that's that.
But I want to say one thing real quick. What I also want to know, and hopefully, you know, this is something that will come out. You know, I just want to know if they're going to ever pursue suing the company, or you know what? Like that's what I want to know. So.
And you know how, like, because you know, I know you got a background in law, but you know how long these cases can take in court, for years.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a long road ahead. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna need all the support they can get, because, like, that, I feel, in my opinion, this company should be held liable. Like, I just do. That's just how I feel about it. They're liable. Right. They have to be.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, that was it for all the stories I had. All the news items that I had for this week. I want to thank you. We're starting things back up again. I think this is a very good show. I want to thank all the people that had joined us in chat. And I just want to thank everybody that just came through and supported us. This is just something that I just wanted to do in the past week. So we're starting back up. Once again, like I said, you can check us out on blogtalkradio.com. Look us up under the Urban Wire Media Network. So we're back. We done changed the name. We're going to do the Urban Coalition of Freelance Writers because I'm going to eventually start the website up, and we're going to have written articles and commentaries on there. But right now, we're just going to do this network on Blog Talk Radio. We might have some other shows that I'm going to probably produce on because I just want something for everybody. I want everybody to have a place on this network where we talk about different issues and different shows and just all kind of stuff. You can find our show on Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, and Google Play. So we are expanding. So just go on there and check us out. The show will be re-aired on, I'm aiming for Wednesday at 8 p.m. So you will hear everything that's going to be edited. So, yeah, just be on the lookout for that, and I will let you guys know when we will have our next broadcast. So, is there anything else you would like to say before we get off here?
Well, I just want to say that I had a great time, and I look forward to the next time.
All right, good night. Once again, this is the Urban Wire, where we shine a light on issues impacting the urban community. Good night, everyone.